Let's get it.
Hey, it's Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. Tonight, we've had 5 bankruptcies, filings, and 1 complete closure in the first 2 weeks of October. So we're going to break them down tonight. I have Robert on here. I have Roman on here. So buckle up, because if 5 companies can fail this fast, the storm that's coming might be a whole lot bigger than anyone's ready to admit. So we're going to take a look at this thing. All right, so here's our lease on information and our dispatch information, should you need that. Bankruptcy 2025. This is what we're talking about tonight. We want to thank our veterans and first responders for all they do and all they continue to do for this country. We would not be the country we are without them. Fuel prices. Well, there is no information on fuel prices as the government is shut down now, and it has affected that. And they're no longer sending the data out. So, all right. So, guys, when all this hell, hate, and discontent started with all these fake CDLs, and, you just know that when you see one cockroach, you're going to see there's going to be a bunch more around. Well, in the news, a woman wore a disguise and an elaborate CDL exam cheating scam in New York. 3 New York State Department of Motor Vehicles workers are currently charged with 51-count indictment for allegedly processing commercial driver's license permits for a no-show applicant. So people were going in and just taking the test for them. And I'm going to stop here just for a second, but you see this crap every day. Wait till you see the crazy things you see out there for tonight. This happened while we were going to eat. You're seeing it every day. You just had a crash in Georgia that killed 8 family members. You had another one on 85 here that killed a person. And it's like, I don't know if the news is just, just all over it right now, or this is the product that we've developed. So time will certainly tell. All right, so the driver, a truck, and a trailer were all put out of service after a Tennessee trooper stops a CMV for bypassing a scale house. A level 1 inspection revealed the following violation. Tires were wore down to the metal cords, no annual inspections, no mud flaps, unsecured load, non-functioning trailer brakes, no record of on-duty status or a logbook. See what I'm saying? All right. In the news, truck to feel the pressure of the weaker port and rail. Now I've got Roman on here. He can talk to us a little bit about that. What are you seeing, Rom?
Hey,
Hey, man.
we're seeing some slowdown in the ports right now.
Yeah,
Uh, yes, sir, and it's
a
kind of
lot of
flat,
the
man.
a lot of tariffs. You think?
Yeah, a lot of the tariff stuff is it's it's the uncertainty of it all, and now we got the latest news where they're slapping tariffs on ships directly from China, so that's
No.
causing some some weak port imports come from the ports.
Okay. All right. Well, let me jump back off here and finish this up. I'll bring you on when we
Yeah.
get ready to talk about it.
Oh,
Truck driver arrested on homicide charges in a fiery wreck that killed 8 family members. That was down in Georgia on 85. News flash. Here's the news flash. The 3-year long Great Freight Recession is not over. It's just dragging along. At least 20 trucking and logistics company filed for bankruptcy in the second quarter of 2025 alone. Okay. Guys, this freight recession is being drug out now by the tariffs, the stagnation. That's what's happening with this. All right, more than 300 commercial vehicles inspected during a 3-day operation in Kansas. That's all I got on that. There was no further data. All right, pictures of the week. We have Jason. He's nice and dry, backed into a lumber. We have Charles running some mini excavators. We've got Richard. He looks like Richard's running some granite or quartz or something. Stone. Here's James. He's run. Hey, this was kind of a cool load. James were running the Zambonis. You know, the things that clean the ice at the ice skating rinks. That's what he has on there. Zambonis. There's Jan. He's running a mini excavator. This is Ray. That's a good picture being loaded with some tanks. And there's Robert. Robert's at the port somewhere. Hang on a second. Hey, Robert.
Hey, how you doing, Brian? Can you see me
Hey,
okay?
yeah, I got you.
Okay, good.
Where were you at the port? What port?
That right there was in, I believe that was in New Jersey,
Okay.
and I think it's a couple of the conversions. They were no, those are actually those are brand new containers that
Just empty containers.
yeah, United Rentals was purchasing those to put them out on rental.
I got you. All right. Well, I'll be back to talk to you in a few. Thank you.
Excellent.
All right. So, and this is Albert. That's a front end of a Freightliner school bus, is what that is. Front clip. Actually, I rode one of those out to Kansas one time on the top deck of the 40. All right, guys, the crazy shit you see out there. This is probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I actually grabbed this off of Mila's car when we pulled up to go to, I think it was the Buffalo Wild Wings or something. So pay attention to this real quick. And again, it's craziness. Those boulders are supposed to be held on there with chains, and they put straps on them, and that front strap is not even connected. It's laying down to the side. I jumped out trying to get the name of the truck, but it was gone by the time, we figured out exactly what was happening. But yeah, this thing is absolutely insane. It's hard to believe that went down the road like that. Now put your child beside of it and realize that 2-ton boulder could have rolled off of there at any time and just landed on. There's nothing holding it on at all on that front one. And it was supposed to have chains. So it's crazy stuff you see. All right, bankruptcy 2025. Let's talk about this a minute. 5 bankruptcies, 2 weeks, and we're not even through October. The headlines aren't talking about it, but inside trucking, the collapse has already started. The question now isn't if more companies will fail, but who's next? Tonight, we're going to break down what just happened. 5 transportation companies all filed Chapter 11 between October 2nd and the 13th, from Texas to Florida. They aren't fly-by-night operations. These are real carriers that tried to hold on and couldn't. So buckle up, because if 5 companies fell this fast, the storm that's coming might be a whole lot bigger than anyone's ready to admit. Segment 1, the numbers do not lie. Here are the facts. GEC Transportation Solutions filed October the 6th in Southern District of Texas a voluntary Chapter 11. Propel Trucking, Inc., also known as Propel Logistics, filed October the 2nd in the Eastern District of Arkansas under Subchapter 5. R&R Transport and Logistics, October 9th, another Texas-based carrier, voluntary Chapter 11. Luxury Transport Group out of Orlando, October 13th. Small but legit chauffeur and limo company. Chapter 11, Subchapter VAG. New York Transportation, Inc. also filed 13th, Middle District of Florida, another Subchapter 5, reorganization. 5 filings, 2 weeks, and these are just the ones we know about. Every one of them blame the same 3 problems. Shrinking freight rates, crushing insurance premiums, and the cost of money. High interest debt that used to be manageable at 3 or 4% is now closer to 9 to 10%. That alone is knocking fleets off balance. Okay. Segment 2, the case of Montgomery Transport. This one shocked me because you used to see Montgomery all the time, everywhere. But let's talk about the biggest shock is Montgomery Transport. On October 9th, Montgomery, a major flatbed carrier out of Alabama, shut down operations and is now preparing to file Chapter 7 liquidation. This wasn't some tiny operation. They ran about 450 units across multiple divisions. RM Logistics, MT Select, MT Dedicated, Montgomery Logistics were part of their system. They were actually in the process of selling P&S Transportation, PS Logistics, and that deal was supposed to close at the end of September, but legal issues and restraining orders killed the sale. Within days, the entire company was done. Drivers were told, deliver your current load, do not pick up another load, and bring the truck home. The end. 450 trucks, guys. That was a huge company. When a company that size with private equity backing from one equity partners and experienced leadership folds in the middle of the month, that's not a coincidence, guys. That's a signal. Flatbed rates has been hurting all year. Construction, steel, lumber, overdimensional and permitted loads are down. When your specialized freight slows and your cost of capital jumps, the math just stops working. So Montgomery's collapse isn't just about one company. It's about what's happening in the entire middle of the market when it gets squeezed. Too big to lean, too small to get rescued. You just collapse. Segment 3 is we're going to talk about what everybody sees every day. You're looking at the news. You're looking, I follow the stock market quite a bit. And you look at Wall Street versus Main Street, and there is a vast difference. And here's what makes it even crazier. The stock market looks like everything is fine and dandy. The S&P 500 is up 14% year to date, led by tech and AI. Wall Street is celebrating a soft landing. But if you ask the average family or small business owner, they'll tell you a different story. Consumer sentiment is still stuck in the mid-50s. The personal savings rate is only 4.6%, and that's near record low. And credit card balances are now over 1.2 trillion, and delinquencies are climbing. For small businesses, confidence has dropped again. And the NFIB's uncertainty index just hit 100. 100. That's a code for people are nervous. Meanwhile, trucking spot rates are still down year over year. Flatbed around $250 a mile, van around $205, reefers $244, fuel included. The Cass Freight Index shows September shipments up 1.5% from August, but still 5% below last year. Diesel's averaging 3.66 a gallon, down slightly, but insurance and tires and repairs keep climbing. Every tire you buy pretty much is coming from overseas. Okay? So the stock market is partying, but Main Street is bleeding. Wall Street runs on expectations. Trucking runs on invoices, and those invoices are getting harder and harder to collect. As a matter of fact, we just filed on a bond today. So, yeah. So, the big picture, why is this happening? Let's kind of connect the dots here a minute. Interest rates. Every fleet with finance trucks or trailers is feeling it. Those low interest rates from 2021, they're expiring, and the financing costs are brutal. Insurance raising again across the board, with flatbed and hazmat hit hardest. Freight rates, too many trucks out there are chasing too few loads. over the capacity from the pandemic boom still has not cleared out, guys. Regulation pressure. The FMCSA's crackdown on non-domicile CDLs and ELD compliance and safety enforcements are ramping up, adding to stress to already thin margins. So when I say 5 bankruptcies in 2 weeks, that's just not a headline, guys. That's a trend line. The market is thinning itself out. And unfortunately, that means more fleets, more owner operators are going to disappear before things stabilize. So the takeaway, segment 5 is the takeaway. If you're running your own authority or leased on somewhere, now listen up. Please listen up. I say this all the time. So now's the time to listen. Okay? In the Marine Corps, they tell you to put your listening ears on. It is time. Cash flow. It is time to tighten up on everything. Tighten up on your cash flow. Tighten up on your compliance and maintenance discipline. That's your lifeline. Okay? Discipline. Don't wait for a miracle market recovery. Focus on what you can control. Cut your fixed cost where you can. Renegotiate insurance if possible. That's something we are in renewal stance right now. So understand that cash flow is the lifeblood of your company. Remember what our motto at DD214 is: legal, safe, profitable. If you're not the first two, you will never be the third. And it is a fact. Stay current on your factoring and your IFTA. IFTA's due, guys. If I haven't said it enough, it's due. And for God's sakes, watch your speed, watch your logs and your maintenance, because one bad inspection right now could be the final straw. Trucking is cyclical. You hear me say it. I just did a video on it. Trucking is cyclical, always has been. The strong survive by adapting faster than the storm hits. You have to know the cyclical motions of the industry that you're in. So the takeaway here, so here's the truth. The 2025 freight market is not going to collapse tomorrow. It's eroding quietly, one company at a time. Okay? The question is, and I want you to all ask yourself, if you're out there running your own show or leased on, is at the end of the day, are you going to be the one that comes out on the other side of it? Or are you going to be one that gets taken down? Montgomery Transport was not just the loudest alarm so far, or it was just the loudest alarm so far. I mean, that is a big, big deal. The stock market can pretend everything is fine, but out here behind the wheel, we know better. In trucking, survival isn't luck, guys. It's math and management. You hear me say it, math and management. Do the math, manage your money, manage your equipment, okay? So let's talk about it. Guys, we've got a great couple guys here. We got Robert. We've got Moses. Robert's been in the business. He's part of the 10% club. Moses is part of the 1% club. He's been running for well over 10 years. So I'm going to bring them on. And if you got questions, we're going to talk about it and see how things work. Hey, Rome.
How you doing?
Hey, Robert. Hey, guys.
Howdy.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we're taking a beating.
Yeah.
But despite all that, I actually am optimistic about the future of the industry.
Hey, Rome, I can't hear you, brother. Come closer to your
Me?
mic.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Hold on. Can you hear me
You
now?
can hear him
Can you hear
fine.
me okay, Brian?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Okay.
I said we're taking a beating, but despite all that, I'm optimistic about the future of the overall economy and the industry as a whole.
What you thinking? What you
Can you hear
think,
me?
Robert?
Well, one of the reasons I want to come on the show tonight is, the
I
things you've
can't hear
talked
him.
about are very important. The the maintenance. Can you hear me okay, Brian?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Um, the maintenance and managing your money and everything, that is very important. My experience this week, I created a setback for myself, because I've been on the road for
I
six
can't hear
weeks. I
him.
haven't been home since sometime in August. And I think, that fatigue and complacency probably set in and I just made a rookie mistake where I let the guys that were working the trailer were unloading. They ended up unloading the wrong serial number for the compressor that I was delivering, and didn't find out till I got to the second spot. And that's a very, very costly mistake because you end up having to backtrack. And that was really on me as the driver, and such a simple thing, checking the numbers on the bill of lading and making
I
sure
can't
that
hear
what they're
him.
taking off the trailer is what they're supposed to be taking off. And and it's very costly. I had to drive back, had to backtrack 247 miles or something, and then pick up the right one and go back and deliver it. And I was back on track within a day. But still, those are the types of things that, even if you're out working as efficiently as you think you can, and you're managing your money and you're doing your maintenance and all this stuff, you still have to completely have your head in the game 100% of the time. And so you
Right.
need to make sure that you also take time to kind of decompress and be ready, so that whenever you are running, you're not making bonehead mistakes like that. So
Right.
it's a pretty
Right.
big lesson for me, and it was one of the costliest things I've done to myself in the business since I got started, and I
Yeah,
definitely
it's
have learned from that.
yeah, it's really important to go over that bill of lading and look at those numbers before you allow them to pull anything off. Because man, once it's
Yeah,
off and you're going down the road, it's tough. It's tough to get it back.
it's very tough. Well, and then mentally, whenever you realize the mistake has been made, and all these things that you're talking about tonight are still going through your mind, and then you're actually costing yourself money. It's extremely easy for your thought process to turn negative, and then the snowball effect can take place if you don't
Right.
remain calm and just go back to the fundamentals. Because once you make that mistake, if you let it compound onto another mistake and another mistake, and then you're speeding to try to make up time and this, that, and the other, it can just. So I am thankful that I got out of it with as little pain as possible once I realized there was a problem, and I did not let it take me down any further, because I immediately changed my mindset to, all right, I've got to put that behind me and focus on those fundamentals that are going to get me
Right.
from here to there, making sure, the equipment is running properly and I'm not speeding, being compliant, so forth and so on. So,
No, I'm
and,
glad
and
that.
I'm optimistic about the future too.
Yeah. I'm glad you recovered. I truly am. I'm very glad.
Yeah.
Uh, Rome. So what are you thinking out there? You follow the market, you follow the news. What are you hearing?
Um, well, I think a lot of the uncertainty is just the Trump tariffs is a lot to do with this. But now that it seems we are starting to get some clarity on what he wants, what the rules of the game are, people are starting to adjust. You're going to see supply chains going to start to adjust too, because what's basically it's the 25% is going to be the rate he's trying to take in, and we're all understanding that now. That's the number, 25%. So company's going to have to make a decision where they want to pay it or they want to bring stuff in here. But the bottom line is that now that we're starting to get some clarity on the tariffs, I think you're going to start seeing some improvements. Now, that ain't going to happen tomorrow, of course, but I think probably summer of next year, I think we're going to start seeing some improvements. And just a better all attitude in the industry, rate wise, all that stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree that the unknown is what's got everybody stagnant right now. Just not knowing which way to run. They got one foot in the sand, and that the other's nailed to a board, so they're not making any moves.
You can see that in oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
You can see that when you look at industrial spending, like construction spending, it was going up, and then it just sort of flatlined because of the uncertainty. But that's what I'm meaning. Like now that we sort of have an understanding that it's basically if you want to do business in the largest economy in the world, you're gonna have to pay 25%, and that's understood. And so the supply chains will adjust to that in the next year.
What you thinking, Robert?
Got an opinion unfortunately, I can't. Well, I can't hear what he's saying. You're gonna have to reiterate to me what he said.
Oh, I can't reiterate because I couldn't hear him either. Everybody else says they can hear him fine.
Oh, okay.
They can't hear each other. Oh, this is craziness. I'm going to buy mics for everybody.
Yeah, for some reason I can't hear them.
Yeah. So, well, let me step over here real quick and say hey to everybody. And guys, if you got questions you'd like to ask these two, I may have to translate, but we'll do it. TG, it says, I can't believe I finally made it on live. Good look at you. Look at you, TG. You did it. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. We got Jason in the house, Michael. We got Frackleton, and we got Chris Golden's in the house. I'm glad you guys are all here. I appreciate it. It's one of those things where it does me good to see you guys every week, because today I spent most of the day in a dental chair, and I've had my belly full of that now for the last few weeks. So hopefully the end of that's coming. But
that's not fun.
That's not fun. No. But did you guys see the flatbed on the crazy shit you see? Could you see that?
Yeah. I saw that.
That's not.
And load securement,
that's just crazy.
I saw a guy running down today with some metal panels that had corners turned up without any strap protectors. I was just looking at that going,
bump away.
There's, if any weight at all, it gets turned on its side or anything like that, it's just going to cut right through those straps.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
All right.
One thing I find.
Go ahead.
One thing I find interesting, Bryan, about companies closing and stuff, and I don't know, I don't really believe in coincidences, but and I don't know because I don't know how these companies have been run, but if companies closing down right when they're really seriously starting to enforce English, when they're seriously starting to enforce English speaking, because I personally witnessed in Indiana coming through heading east. ICE officers at a weight station, every truck was getting pulled over. They had 3 or 4 trucks already pulled off to the side, people that couldn't speak English. And they had armed officers along the side of the highway there. And there was 10 trucks in front of me. By the time I got up and it was my turn, there was 50 trucks behind me, all lined up. And all they were doing was checking to see if people could understand English and read English.
That's great.
And if if these businesses that have been running for so long have been using non-English speaking truckers, drivers. I mean,
There you go.
I don't know if there's a correlation there or not, but if your business model is based on numbers and wages at a certain rate, and then all of a sudden there's some sort of market disruption that changes those rates, that makes your business model no longer feasible, then I would say, yeah, hey, you know what? Stop driving, bring everybody back. Rates are going to change, and we can't, we if we can't pay at this labor rate and we have to now pay this labor rate, our business model no longer makes sense, because labor is a huge portion of every business. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems interestingly coincidental that that's occurring at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on 1 second. We'll be back in a second. Okay, Ron, what you got?
No, I was sort of hearing him on the back channel since I can't hear him on the main, but yeah, I mean, what he's saying is right. There's a lot of coincidence there, but that's why I don't really worry about these companies going out, because we're just getting rid of the rot. That's what these companies are. We're getting rid of the rot, man. And so when I see these companies like Fuller's, another one that went out, they had like 400 units too. These are crappy companies. We're getting rid of these companies and let them go. That's okay. It's making way.
I get it. It's gonna clean out the system. It's just those things that until this stuff settles out and we get rid of all this this COVID era glut.
Yeah.
We had all these people come into this thing.
Until we get mentorship.
Some of that.
By the way, that's ending November, by the way. That mentorship program they had that was basically subsidizing these students to come in right out. They don't have to do the 2 years of over the road. Remember that? They were just going to train them for 6 weeks and throw them on the road. That program's ending November. I don't think it'll get funding because we can't seem to agree to fund anything right now. But I mean, if it gets funding, it'll continue. But as of now, it's due to expire in November. So that's going to help the industry too. That's going to be a net positive, I think, for the industry.
Okay. Before we go too long tonight, what I want to do is I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm going to bring Robert up here. I want to thank Robert. I want to thank Roman for coming in. I really appreciate you guys showing up and spending a moment to talk to people. You got a lot of years of experience sitting here staring at you, so pay attention. And if you need me, guys, I'll talk to you later on. But I thank you for showing up. I'm going to let you guys go. Ron, talk to you tomorrow. Back here, guys. Listen, this show's not to scare you. It's to have you pay attention to what's going on. Make those changes in your habits. Make those changes in your cash flow. Put money back. Every week you put money back, and don't steal it from yourself. Even though it's yours, you got to put it somewhere where you're not going to steal it. All right. So, don't give it to your wife. Do not give it to your wife. Don't. She won't steal it. She'll just take it and do something else with it. But thanks everybody for showing up. Listen, love your family because it's all you got. I appreciate you guys being here. This is Bryan with DD214. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm dirty jeans and a 4x4, cruising down to your front door. I'm a closest pack and a whiskey neat, some dive bar right up the street. I'm a good old boy and a country star. ripped up shirt, tractor pulling out in the dirt. Hot cup of coffee with a cigarette, pretty little thing sitting on